Have you ever heard a story so captivating, so mysterious, that it feels like it has to be true? A tale of a magnificent city, home to an advanced civilization. It vanished beneath the waves in a single catastrophic day and night. I'm talking, of course, about the legendary lost city of Atlantis. But was it a real place, a powerful empire swallowed by the sea, or just a myth, a clever story told thousands of years ago? The very first mention of Atlantis comes from the ancient Greek philosopher Plato around 360 BC. In his dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, he describes Atlantis as a formidable naval power, situated beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which most scholars agree refers to the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, this was no ordinary city. It was a marvel of engineering and wealth, a concentric series of islands and canals, ruled by kings descended from Poseidon, the god of the sea. The Atlanteans were said to be noble and powerful, living in a near utopia. But as their power grew, so did their hubris and greed. They waged an unjust war against Athens, and as a punishment from the gods, a terrible cataclysm of earthquakes and floods struck, and the island of Atlantis disappeared into the depths of the sea. It's an incredible story, right? But the biggest question remains, did Plato invent it all? This is where the debate really heats up. One of the most compelling theories is that Atlantis wasn't entirely fictional, but rather a memory of a real historical event. Many researchers point to the Minoan civilization on the island of Thera, now known as Santorini in the Aegean Sea. Around 1600 BC, a colossal volcanic eruption, one of the largest in human history, blew the island apart. The eruption triggered massive tsunamis that would have devastated coastal communities across the Mediterranean. Could the memory of this real-life catastrophe have been passed down through generations, eventually inspiring Plato's tale? The similarities are striking. A powerful, advanced island civilization wiped out by a natural disaster. It's a plausible explanation that grounds the myth in a very real, very terrifying historical event. The Minoans were known for their advanced art, architecture, and naval prowess, much like Plato's Atlanteans. Perhaps the story of their demise was a cautionary tale that Plato adapted for his own philosophical purposes. However, there's another, simpler possibility. Many historians and philosophers argue that Atlantis was never meant to be taken as a literal place. They believe Plato created Atlantis as a thought experiment, a parable. In this view, Atlantis represents the perfect, powerful state corrupted by its own ambition and moral decay, while ancient Athens represents the ideal, virtuous society. By pitting them against each other, Plato could explore themes of politics, power, divine justice, and the ideal state. The story of Atlantis's downfall would then serve as a powerful warning against imperialism, greed, and forgetting one's virtues. It's a lesson in what happens when a society becomes too arrogant and loses its way. For Plato, a philosopher deeply concerned with ethics and governance, creating a fictional city to illustrate his points makes a lot of sense. It was a common literary device in ancient Greece. But what if it's still out there? This is the idea that has captured the imagination of explorers, dreamers, and adventurers for centuries. The allure of a lost, technologically advanced civilization hidden beneath the waves is just too powerful to ignore. People have searched for Atlantis all over the world. Some look in the Atlantic Ocean, taking Plato's beyond the Pillars of Hercules literally. The Bahamas, the Azores, and the Canary Islands have all been proposed as possible locations. Others have pointed to places as far-flung as Antarctica, arguing that shifts in the Earth's crust could have moved the continent. Then there are the underwater sonar scans that occasionally reveal strange, geometric patterns on the seafloor, fueling speculation and excitement. Just imagine finding ruins of a city that predates the pyramids, a city with technology and wisdom we can only dream of. The possibility, however remote, continues to drive exploration and research. every strange anomaly found on the ocean floor, every ancient text that hints at a great flood adds another piece to this tantalizing puzzle. So where does that leave us? We have a story from one of history's greatest thinkers. We have a compelling historical parallel in the destruction of Minoan Thera. We have the argument for a purely philosophical allegory. And we have the undying hope of modern explorers searching for a tangible discovery. The truth is, without concrete archaeological evidence, like finding a sign that says, "Welcome to Atlantis," we may never know for sure. The city remains lost, not just to the sea, but to history itself. The legacy of Atlantis, however, is undeniable. It has inspired countless books, movies, and works of art. It has become a symbol of lost knowledge, of a golden age, and a warning about the fragility of civilization. It forces us to ask big questions about our own society. Are we, like the Atlanteans, becoming too proud, too consumed by our own power and technology? Is Atlantis a warning from history, a ghost from our collective past reminding us of the consequences of hubris? Or is it a lost truth, a real chapter of human history, still waiting to be uncovered from its watery grave? Perhaps the real value of Atlantis isn't in finding it, but in the search itself, in the questions it makes us ask about our past, our future, and ourselves. What do you think? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of history's greatest mysteries. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures into the unknown. We'll see you next time.